You are the highest authority on what's right for you. How does that land with you? Are you courageous enough to accept that responsibility? And who is this you that can be trusted? And who's the you that can't be trusted? Is it the you that has been trained not to trust yourself, or the you that's been shaped by other people's opinions about what is right for you? So, who's this you? I'm Dr. Deborah Lukovich, and I'm a depth psychology coach, author, and host of Dose of Depth podcast. And if you like these videos, like, subscribe, share, engage, answer the question, who is the you that you can trust? So this morning I was listening to an Alan Watts video, and he's my new favorite. And he gave me a different way to understand something, different language to understand. And he talked about how our five senses, our sight, hearing, feeling, touching, all of that, is really confirms the past. So those senses perceive what has already happened. And the other sense, the intuition or a sense of faith, believing before there's evidence that this is about the future. So our beliefs shape the future. Now, the problem is most of our beliefs are in the unconscious. But when we have a sense of trust in the universe or God, whatever you want to call it, and a believing, a knowing that things work for our benefit, then that shapes our future in a different way. So, how do you find that deeper version of you, that wisdom, that, as Jung would say, capital S self, that ordering principle that's prompting you to unfold and to grow, and that self is actually your bridge to something higher than you, transcendent. That could be God for you, the quantum realm, nature, but what it does is it sort of elicits a sense of responsibility and accountability to something beyond yourself. So, what will happen though is when you slip into that deeper wisdom, that deeper state, that stillness where you can hear the small voice, small, still voice, your mind will go to work and it will actually panic and it is fearful of the truth. The mind wants to stay in fear. So, you'll have this little inner thing going on. Sometimes, though, the body can lead you to the truth of the situation. And what does that look like? So today, I wanted to bring this to life, this concept, by sharing part of my new book, my memoir, When Sex Meets God, a Midlife Unraveling. And actually, one of my favorite endorsements, a little snippet of Dr. Sean Miller's endorsement, is that he really appreciates my unconventional approach to dating in my 50s. So I wanted to start by just reading. Well, let me just read what he says, actually, first of all. So he says, Deborah's willingness to explore the depths and intensity of her relationships moved and intrigued me. And while at times overwhelming, I was definitely overwhelmed by my experiences, drew me further into her story. And what truly stands out is her refreshing approach to dating in her 50s, free from societal expectations. So that was sort of an interesting part of my story. So I'm going to read a little bit from chapter 21, which is titled The End and Beginning. And there was a sort of relaxing into a new level of stability, which you could say is stillness. So, stillness doesn't always occur or doesn't only occur when you're meditating and you're in stillness. The goal is to take inner stillness into your life, like taking yoga off the mat. So, here is from chapter 21. Finally, life settled into a groove for me and the kids, and coming clean about wanting to end my marriage had melted away the 15 pounds I had gained from being in denial. Each morning, I pranced around the bedroom in my bare feet, admiring my naked body in the mirror before slipping on a pretty dress and matching loafers to wear to work. The new youthful version of me felt sexy and free, and studying at the beach matched my new vibe. The 4th of July festivities marked the peak of summer in the city, so when I arrived at the beach, I happily took in the sight of thousands of half-naked, fun-loving people. I set up my laptop at the tiki bar and smirked at people's confused looks. The gentle, humid breeze brushed against my skin as I absorbed the striking contrast between Lake Michigan's expansive dark blue water and the sandy beach. My hips swayed in rhythm with the lively reggae music blasting from the nearby speakers. What can I get for you, Deb? A few years had passed since my activism helped transform the beach, yet I still felt like a celebrity when the bartender recognized me. A Cabernet, please. They kept a stash of single serving bottles of barefoot wine just for me. My head turned toward the scene of people diving for volleyballs, throwing frisbees, and sipping tropical drinks. I had made a difference. The warm red wine I sipped from a plastic cup lingered on my tongue, and the background noise of activity focused my attention enough to dive into my studies. A few minutes later, I sensed the subtle energy of a man beside me. He was trying to get the bartender's attention. I looked his way with a friendly smile and said, I got you. I leaned over the counter on my tiptoes, calling out the bartender's name. Thanks, he said, smiling. Yep, you're welcome. I quickly shifted my focus back to my laptop. What are you working on? He asked. My name is Rick. I didn't say I wanted to talk in my mind. But then, when the younger man with dark hair and brown eyes leaned in closer, the warm flutter in my belly surprised me. I'm studying for my master's degree, I declared proudly. My intellect leaped at the chance to discuss my new obsession with anyone willing to listen. My shoulders instinctively moved closer to the man named Rick. What do you do for a living? I politely asked, expecting a dull response. To the contrary, his work as a lawyer for a disability rights organization, coupled with his genuine interest in my intellect, ignited my mind first. Then, my eyes, securely hidden behind sunglasses, quickly scanned him from head to waist. He seemed to be about 6 feet tall, and his millennial style facial hair was quite appealing. Do you play beach volleyball? He asked. Inside, I said, Thank you for distracting me with that innocent question. I do, I said with a smirk. I relaxed into connecting with my new brain crush. He mentioned that he was looking for a team, and I offered to check with mine if he could join. Our eyes met as I slid my notebook toward him and handed him my pen to write down his email address. At that moment, the cheeseburger he ordered was placed in front of us. Well, see you later. He grabbed his burger and walked over to his friend's table. My gaze returned to my laptop, but the warmth between my crossed legs distracted me. I looked around shyly, feeling ridiculous after realizing he was probably in his early 30s. The next day, I questioned everything. Perhaps he was genuinely looking for a team to join, but when my team enthusiastically agreed to welcome him onto ours, I felt unbearably shy. My nervous fingers swiftly texted, My team said yes to the younger man I found attractive partly due to his career choice. See you on Thursday, he texted back. So that was the beginning of a new phase. And it was sometimes you have to be tricked into this, into accepting this adventure. And it was in this moment of surrender that I said yes. So what happens after that is very interesting and amusing. That was chapter 21. So, chapter 22, the dam breaks. I'll let you sort of think about what that might mean. And then, chapter 23, online dating, here I come. Chapter 24 is titled From Performance Anxiety to Virtual Sex. And then, chapter 25 is titled To the Edge and Back. So, if I hadn't been studying depth psychology, I might not have actually relaxed into these experiences with these men. And in a way, they were teachers for me. They were sacred friends. They didn't know it, they were just being them. But they seemed to sort of show up as I needed them to learn more about myself. And throughout this 6 month experience of dating, I came into deeper relationship with my body and my sexuality. And what I didn't know is that those experiences were preparing me for what came next. And you'll have to get my book if you want to know what comes next in the story and to get all the sort of juicy details. And yeah, so if you like this kind of conversation, please subscribe to all my socials. You can go to deborahlukovich.com, and at the top you can get to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and get to my podcast and subscribe there and engage with me. And If you're going through a, a time when you're not sure if you can trust yourself, I can be there as your depth psychology coach, and you can schedule a free exploratory chat with me. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.